Hello and welcome to this week's MTV, where I am focusing on the word change. It's been on my mind today because I was preparing a post on Facebook and I was sharing something about a change that was significant in my life. So today I wanted to utilize that word for our MTV. Change means a different form or appearance or to transform. There are three areas of change I'm going to address in this MTV. Of course, there are many. These are three that are personal to me. The first is sometimes in our life, we are in need of a wording change. In other words, how we say something. When I first started my Premier Designs jewelry business, I was a stay-at-home mom. And over the early years of building our business, it was always bothersome to me that when compared to other stay-at-home moms, I didn't quite fit into that category because I couldn't always make every play group or tuck my boys into bed every single night or be at every single field trip during school. Why? Because there was a need that we had for me to work and I had to make time for that. So the Lord helped me to develop a wording change and I started calling myself a work from home mom. What a difference that made. It empowered me to really own the business that God had given us, to allow me to be a mom to our boys more actively and at the same time actively contribute to our family's income. So sometimes we need a wording change. Secondly, a location change can be helpful as well. When we moved from Florida to Texas, it was a definitive location change. And with a new location brings many different changes. For example, a scenery change. Things are different out here in Texas. And that took time to get used to. The climate is different. Of course, we're in February and it is extremely cold right now in Texas. And it's giving us a greater appreciation for what our northern friends experience winter after winter after winter. Here's the key about having a location change. What it does is it helps to expand your perspective. And oftentimes when we have an expanded perspective, we're able to see through new eyes the circumstances that God has us in. We can have a greater appreciation. We can be more thankful. Greater perspective helps to prepare us and lead us forward. So location changes can be really helpful. The third change is a methodology change. This has been probably the most challenging for me since we left Florida. I have had to learn how I have to use my jewelry differently. The way I approach my jewelry here in Texas has had to be different. I had to develop the positive phrasing of I have jewelry and I want to show it, so that I was open to the possibilities of new opportunities in a place where I knew no one. I also had to change the way that I work my calendar. I was very established. I got here and I had to really think differently about how I worked and planned my calendar. Going from being planned out 3 months in advance to really looking at planning a month in advance, a completely new and different approach for me. But that has been important as Fred has begun to build his photography business and we are able to move and flex in our scheduling with what he is doing for his business. So the methodology of my calendaring change, that became very important. Also, how I approach people had to change. I needed to learn to be more bold. I'm not talking about being pushy. I'm talking about really choosing to open my mouth and share what I have, whether it be the jewelry, the opportunity, the ability to give it for free and half price. I needed to learn to be more bold, to not be ashamed of what I have, to not rely on the easy, comfortable way of sharing what God had given me. You know, what's interesting about the having a methodology change is it prepares you for the future that God knows is coming. 3 areas of change. Wording change, it can empower you greatly. Location change, it can improve your perspective. And finally, a methodology change can position you for the future that God knows is coming. Here's something encouraging. As difficult as change can be, we can stand on the firm foundation that God never changes. In Hebrews 13:8, it says, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. No matter what, we can know whatever comes our way, that Jesus is a solid rock, a foundation on which we can stand, and we can weather any change that is brought our way. My challenge to you this week: look at your life, look at your business, be it you're in Premier or you work in some other full-time or part-time job, and look at where God might be calling you to make a change, and then be willing to be open to it. Who knows how God can use that to not only empower you, improve your perspective, but position you for a much brighter future. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you back here for our next MTV.